Welcome to the Mama Mel Collection. I am an embroidery and sewing small business here in Central Florida, and today I'm going to give you a breakdown of how much it costs to run an embroidery business. I am talking about only the necessities that you need to embroider. So machine, stabilizer, threads, needles, those things. And I'm going to break down the cost, how often I buy them, and give you a glimpse into how expensive embroidery is as a business. A lot of the stuff that I purchase for my embroidery business is done through Amazon. My Amazon business account, I do a lot of monthly and quarterly purchasing for certain supplies. I kind of have it down to where depending on the time of year, I know how much I'm going to need. So the Amazon business account is great for that because I can just keep everything on track there. They also do business pricing on certain things, so that does end up saving you some money. So let's rip into these packages so I can show you what I order, what you need that's necessary to start embroidering, and how often and how much money you're going to spend. I use these Super Fun Work Pro box cutters. They are safety cutters, so they snap right back in and they're ceramic. So like, it's supposed to be much safer and they never rust. Just thought they're cute. I got a 3-pack on Amazon. I'm gonna have these linked, and I'm super stressed about cutting. Like, these are so strong, but you just wouldn't know because it's not like a metal. How fun is that? All right, let's break down the cost of necessity supplies that you need in order to embroider. Start your own embroidery business. These are things that you can't embroider without, okay? So like I said, we are not gonna be going into the fun stuff to have, like 3D puff or yarn or any of that. This is just the basics, what they cost, and how often you will need to purchase them as you run out. The first thing that you're going to need is a machine, which can be thousands of dollars. There's quite the range. I have two. I have a single needle Husqvarna Viking Topaz 50, which was about $5,000. It's a very quality, classy machine. And then I have a Smart Stitch 12 needle, the S1201. That is a more affordable industrial machine, multi-needle, that does all the things, hats included. So that machine too was about $5,000. So each machine can use similar threads. However, each machine has different hooping techniques and different things that you would need. However, the basics, the thread, the stabilizer can be used for both a single needle machine as well as a multi-needle machine. Needles will be different. So let's get started. Let's unpack and let me show you what you need. All right, package number one, like I said, all coming from Amazon because I have a business account, okay? So if you have any questions later, we'll recap where we can get some other things, okay? Bobbins. Bobbins, I purchase the pre-wound bobbins. These are worth it so that you don't have to wind your own. It is a time saver. So one pack, this is a new bro thread, 144 bobbins. I get the white and the black because I like to use a black bobbin when I'm working with darker sweatshirts and embroideries, and the whites for lighter things. So this is 144 pieces of pre-wound bobbins that fit both of my machines, luckily, and this is $23.88. Next up, thread. I go through white and ivory thread like there's no tomorrow, and it is because I am getting into bridal keepsakes, so a lot of my embroideries are done with white thread and ivory thread. So I get the 2 packs because there is a cost saving on buying 2. This is the 5,000 meter spool. I can use it on my single needle or my multi-needle. And each of these for a 2 pack is $12.88. So this is $12.88. So I got 2. Okay. Okay. Here. Stabilizer. We have white cutaway stabilizer. This is a 15-inch, and I believe it is 25 yards. 15-inch, 25 yards. I like the 15-inch. They do make it in a 12-inch, but I like the 15-inch because it fits my larger hoops, and I only need 1 piece for my sweatshirts. So this is a white, medium weight cutaway stabilizer by New Bro Thread, and it is $24.99. This one gets purchased the most often because you go through you can't embroider without going through stabilizer. So stabilizer is like a monthly purchase. So 1 roll is $24.99. So keep that in mind. Here we have another roll of stabilizer. This is a different brand because for some reason I can't find the 15-inch like I like at New Bro Thread in black. They only have a 12-inch, but I don't like that one. So this brand I like as well. It's the HBI products. Like I said, it's stabilizer. You can't embroider without it. I like having the white and the black for different colored things that I'm doing. These are both cutaway stabilizers, and they're the ones that I use the most. Also $24.99 for 25 yards. So just right here is 50 bucks of supplies. What's in here? These are supplies. If you're looking to start your own embroidery business, you are going to need some packing supplies. And if you're sending out orders, you're going to need cellophane bags. So I purchase these maybe quarterly because you can get them in pretty large packs, 100 or 200 packs, and these are pretty affordable. So they're just the self-sealing bags. I have a small, a medium, and then a large for the chunky sweatshirts. So these are a necessity for shipping because you want your item to be protected, right? Let's see. So the small, this is a 200 pack. And I will have all of these listed and linked below. This is a 200 pack for $9.98. So I get these closer to every couple of months, maybe quarterly. The medium is a 100 pack for $6.59. And this is the brand Jaderi. Super quality. They're the ones that I reorder about quarterly. And then the large pack, this is for chunky sweatshirts. It fits and holds really well. Same brand. And this is a 100 pack for $12.34. But these are a necessity for your items, any small business really. If you're making something and sending it out, you want it to look professional and wrapped up pretty. So those are a necessity. Let's see. Next up, if you know, you know. This is Heat and Bond, and this is the most expensive one at, where are we? $85.75, okay? So I purchased this in bulk because that is the only way that it makes sense. Heat and Bond Light. If you are embroidering and you are doing any applique, you must use this. You have to. Okay, it keeps your fabric crisp, the edges clean. It adheres to your fabric that you're appliquing as well as the item that you are appliquing it to, right? So it's necessary for clean stitches and strong bond. And I go through this like crazy. Everything that I embroider pretty much uses Heat and Bond Light. So this is 17 inches by 35 yards. So it does get me through a while. I maybe order this twice a year because it is so much. But it is very expensive if you just buy a yard of it. So I buy a whole stinking thing for $85, and that is what's best for me. So this is just stuff that you can't embroider. Well, you can embroider without the shipping bags, but stabilizer, thread, bobbins, and if you do applique, then heat and bond light. So, which if you end up doing embroidery, you're going to do applique because somebody's going to want it. So heat and bond light. Some costs that we didn't talk about are needles, because you will go through needles. So needles you will need, especially if you have a multi-needle machine, you will go through needles and you will want to buy them in bulk. So they come in these little packs. And you will need different sizes. So for my multi-needle machine, I use 65 nines. For smaller things that I embroider and logos, I use 65 9 needles. And then everything else I use is 75 11. So you will need to have needles on hand and ready to go. And these for a big set are about $20 to $25. But this is another necessity. So those are just some of the costs that you will have to incur when you buy an embroidery machine, whether it's for fun or if it's to start a business. If you embroider for fun, good for you, but it's a very expensive hobby. So hopefully you're making money off of it. But this list is just something that I ordered for this week because I started to run out of all of it at the same time. The bobbins, the stabilizer, those are things that you're going to have to order monthly, quarterly, depending on how busy you are and how much you're making. But like we know, the machines are a one-time purchase until you buy another one. So machine, stabilizer, needles, thread, bobbins, those are 100% necessary. There are fun things that you can get to start embroidering with later that are going to be extra expenses, like 3D puff foam, the embroidery yarn, you know, all the things, your business cards, your packaging supplies, your stickers for your labels, all of that fun stuff. If you're going to do content around it, you're going to want a microphone and a camera. And so those are just the basics that you will need for embroidery, okay? And that list that we just unboxed together was $227.88. So you will be spending about $200, we'll say quarterly to be safe. I am very busy, so some of this stuff like stabilizer I do purchase more often than quarterly, as well as bobbins. However, for me, it's worth it to not have to wind my own. So think about that. That is a fun price breakdown for you. Embroidery is a very expensive project. It's a lot of fun, a lot of creativity, but there are just so many aspects. Other things that we didn't talk about that are an expense are where you're going to get your products, because you have to embroider on something. So you'll need fabric, you'll need t-shirts, you'll need sweatshirts, you'll need hats. Those are a cost. Software, you will need a USB, you will need a design software to transfer to your machine, do your designing and your resizing, all of that fun stuff. But I hope that you liked this breakdown. I hope you found it helpful. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here with me. And you can find all of these fun products that I use every day with my embroidery machines. You can find them linked below in my Amazon list. So have a great day.